This journey to deliver essential materials to another state was just another routine trip for me, though the nighttime scenery and the shadows of the forest could sometimes play tricks on the mind. I had a schedule to keep and deadlines to meet. The night drive was quiet and calm, the truck steady and sure on the road. The highway stretched out like a dark ribbon under the moonlit sky, winding through dense woods. I drove my truck, alone, but for the occasional flash of headlights that zoomed past and a rush of wind and sound. The emptiness of the road was unsettling, amplifying every creak and groan of the vehicle as it rumbled along. A persistent urge to relieve myself finally forced me to pull over onto the shoulder. Stepping out into the chilly night air, I hurried towards the cover of trees, the crunch of gravel beneath my boots echoing in the silence. The shadows seemed to dance around me, casting sinister shapes that flickered at the corners of my vision. As I finished and turned back towards my truck, a shiver ran down my spine. The silence that enveloped the woods felt oppressive now, as if unseen eyes watched from the darkness. Just as I reached for the truck door, a sudden rustling from the bushes nearby made me freeze in place, heart hammering in my chest. Through the darkness emerged a figure, a woman, her torn clothes stained with dark patches that glistened in the moonlight, her eyes wide with fear. She stumbled towards me, hands outstretched. "Please," she gasped, voice trembling. "Help me. He's after me." I hesitated for only a moment before grabbing her arm and pulling her towards my truck. The urgency in her voice ignited a primal fear within me as I fumbled for my phone, fingers trembling as I dialed emergency services. Outside, a violent jerk on the driver's side door sent shockwaves through me. I turned to see a man, his face contorted with rage, pounding on the window. "He found us," the woman screamed, her grip tightening on my arm. "He's the one." Panic surged through me as I slammed the accelerator. The truck lurched forward, gravel spraying in all directions. But the relief of escape was short-lived. Ahead, the road twisted sharply, illuminated only by the truck's headlights. Before I could react, a sudden jolt rocked the vehicle. I hadn't seen the road repair sign. A deep pit had swallowed the front wheels, trapping us in its gaping maw. Frantically, I dialed 911 again, desperation clawing at my throat. Beside me, the woman's eyes darted fearfully between me and the truck's door. And then, without warning, the door swung open. A dark figure loomed in the moonlight, his presence suffocating. He stood there, his eyes burning with manic intensity, a twisted grin spreading across his face. In a split-second decision, I grabbed the fire extinguisher from its holder and sprayed foam directly at him. He recoiled, cursing and thrashing in the foam that now coated him, his movements frenzied and desperate. Before he could recover, the sound of approaching sirens shattered the night. Police cars screeched to a halt behind us, lights flashing in the darkness. Officers rushed towards us, their expressions grim as they assessed the scene. The trapped truck, a foam-filled man, and me and the woman in the cab of the truck sitting scared as hell. They quickly apprehended the man and secured him in handcuffs. The woman and I gave our statements, breathless and shaken by the harrowing events that had unfolded. 2 days later, I found myself once again driving my truck along the highway towards the warehouse, the events of that fateful night still fresh in my mind. The radio murmured softly beside me, filling the cabin with the day's news. As I listened, a news bulletin caught my attention. The voice on the radio announced that a truck driver had saved a young woman from a serial killer. The perpetrator had been apprehended by the police and had confessed to his crimes. I felt a mix of emotions wash over me: relief that the woman was safe, gratitude for the swift action of law enforcement, and a lingering sense of disbelief at how close we had come to tragedy. The echo of that night lingered in my thoughts, a stark reminder of the unpredictable turns life could take on the quiet stretches of lonely highways.